Hello everybody, Naughty Nana Des. How's everybody doing this Friday? It's been a day, has it not? It has been a day. President Zelenskey, the world's looking out for you. They really are. Before I get into this, I just want to say, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My hangers on, thanks for hanging on. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We already said that, didn't we, back in November? It's going to be a bumpy ride. But you know what? We're going to get through this. We really are. And that fart bag up there, that's all he is old fart bag. That's all. Blows a lot of shit. But you know what? He's sinking himself, and unfortunately, he's sinking the American people. But there's, I believe there's going to be an uprising soon. In my heart of hearts, I believe that. So, Mr. Zelensky goes to the White House. Oh, what a sham. What a sham. Anyway, cheers, dear, because it's 20 past 6 here, so it's more than 5 o'clock. I'm going to have me a sippy too. It's been snowing hard all day. It's been like minus 12, minus 13. Windy. Oh. It's just a mess out there. So I am here to talk to you about what happened today at the White House. And Trump said to him, you either make a deal or you're out. And you wouldn't be so tough if it wasn't for us. He's got a lot more backing than just the United States of America. So Zelensky stood up for himself and his country today, and I firmly believe that Sir Keir Starmer, British Prime Minister, who was in the White House this week, stayed in Washington to coach President Zelensky because he read the room. He read the room, and he knew that the bullies would surround him and attack at the first opportunity, and man, was he spot on. Sure enough, Vance was a trash bag that deserves all he gets and the most disdain from anybody and everybody. But he sparks up and says, have you thanked us today? That's all that man's been doing for 3 years, is thanking the United States of America and the people for all the help that he's getting. That's all he's ever done was thank them. But because he said, yes, I did thank you today. So Zelensky says that he thanked him many times, and it was Shady Pants. That was the acting pit bull. That was his role today. But he did just enough to give Trump that extra fuel there to start his aggressive behavior, leaning right in and getting in his face and everything else and pointing. He even slapped him on the arm a couple times. Yeah, that's bullying 101. Getting all red in the face and everything. And he tells Zelensky basically that he doesn't have any cards to play. Russia has cards. America has cards. But he doesn't have any cards to play. So he needs to sign a peace deal. He's in no position to tell us, you're very disrespectful to the office of the president and to the American people. You have to sign a peace deal, he says. Putin and the Kremlin started popping champagne corks and popping open bottles of vodka as chasers, I'm just saying. Deal for peace was already signed when Ukraine wanted sovereignty back in 1991. That's when Ukraine first became independent, and it had the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world. It had 1,900 strategic warheads, 176 intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, 44 strategic bombers. In 1996, Ukraine returned all the warheads to Russia in exchange for economic and security assurances. Ukraine became a non-nuclear state in 1994, and the United States signed a deal with them to guarantee the safety of Ukraine's sovereignty against aggression of the Soviet Union. The deal was already signed. Talk about reneging. After the annexation in 2014, which was another treaty break, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and the United States stated that the Russian involvement breached the Budapest Memorandum obligations to Ukraine and had violated their sovereignty and territorial integrity in Ukraine. Now, Trump and Putin are in total lockstep with this. I have no doubt in my military mind that Ukraine, the Ukrainian president, was, you do what you're told and hand over your country back to Russia because, Putin there wants the Federation back and all the glory with the czars and tsarinas and all that stuff. He wants all that royalty back. That's what he wants. And Ukraine was part of that, so he wants his territory back. That's why he invaded Crimea to get his territory back, because it's the main shipping place in that part of the world. So he wants it back. So Zelensky said, wait a second, not so fast. I have some asks in this as well. Not just to Russia. They don't get all the playing cards. He doesn't get all the say. We have been lied to by Russia before. He's broken the peace when he took Crimea. He broke Minsk I and Minsk II. And he was telling Trump that with him breaking all these pieces, he's not going to listen to you either. He will break this peace deal. That's why I need strategic safety, security from the United States and the European countries. And Trump's basically saying, there's a big ocean between us. Doesn't affect us that much, so we're not going to help you. Because you got all of Europe over there. They're more interested in you. So now that I am president of Ukraine, I get a say in what happens to my country. This threw Trump and Vance into a friggin' tailspin. Now, when Zelensky first got there, when he first got elected, he was like the little shy guy, and he wasn't sure about diplomacy and all this stuff. He caught on fast, though. He caught on fast. He didn't play the shy little leader this time, begging crumbs from the neighborhood bully, or in this case, friggin' King of America. And Trump can't stand to be told no. He can't stand to be told no, or you're wrong. And Trump kept saying that, Crimea was in 2015. And Zelensky said, no, 2014. He's going, 2015. He's going, no, sir, 2015. Or 2014, rather. But Trump kept insisting that it was 2015. And Zelensky kind of sat there and was like, oh, Christ, I know where this is going, right? So this, to me, was a total fucking setup. That's what it was. He was lured into that position when he first got to the White House, in between Vance and Trump, and everybody was all smiles. He was lured into that, and it was a total setup. After the photo op and stuff, when he first got to the White House and they did the little standing thing there with the press corps and everything else, when they were walking out of that room there, Trump tapped Zelensky on the back. Little false sense of security, I'm thinking. And then they gave him the candy. Lured him into the Oval Office, or shoved him into the back of the van, is closer to what happened. The whole thing started the minute Trump came out of that White House to greet Zelensky at his vehicle. As Zelensky got out of the vehicle and walked up those 3 steps to Trump, they smiled they kind of posed for the camera. You could see Zelensky was like, what the fuck is going to happen to me today? The first thing Trump did was like, what are you wearing? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Yeah. So it started as soon as he got out of the vehicle. I don't think 3 words were exchanged. But the whole thing really looked choreographed. It really was. We're going to do this, and then he's going to do that, and then we're going to do this. But they certainly didn't expect Zelensky to speak up and went, whoa. They wanted this to play out with a room full of right-wing journalists. In fact, that arsehole that's dating maggoty traitor there, I even forget his name, likes dressing in drag anyway. But the big question he had for the president of Ukraine during a war that he's fighting was, why aren't you wearing a suit? Zelensky looked, he goes, I've got plenty of suits, better than one you're wearing, basically. He goes, but I could be wrong. But that was the question. Why aren't you wearing a suit? But he, Zelensky just put him in his place. There was, they did that so as soon as that was over, because they knew how it was going to end. So as soon as that was over, they knew all the MAGA right-wing press were out there and saying, oh yeah, look at the president, isn't he strong? He's a good guy. He put him in his place, didn't he? Well, no, he didn't. But Zelensky has his own asks for a ceasefire and a peace treaty. He is the one that has been on the front lines fighting, watching his soldiers die, wanting to get back the over 20,000 babies and children that Putin kidnapped and assimilated into Russian culture. Forced, I should say. I have a feeling that Musk also has his paws all over this. They picked this fight because Musk wants to cut all aid to Ukraine. That's why this whole thing was staged, because they wanted to cut the aid to Ukraine, but they didn't want to look like the bad guy in front of the world, right? So basically, they got that fight going so they can say, oh, look, he's too ungrateful, and they kicked the president of Ukraine out of the Oval Office and out of the White House. So they can sit back and say, oh, look, he disrespected us in the Oval Office, and he disrespects the American people and everything else. He doesn't want peace. So I tried my best to do this on my own. I really did. I tried my best. Once again, Trump fulfills a debt to Daddy Vladdy. So yeah, I think all this stuff was because they were going to cut all the aid to Ukraine. And this way they can say, see, we tried, but look, he's so ungrateful. He doesn't want peace. So we're going to cut him off. He's on his own. Well, that's my 2 cents for today. Anyway, Naughty Nana loves you. Be good, be safe. Please take care of you first. We're going to all need hugs after today. This was a shit day for America. What a friggin' disgrace. Have you ever seen or thought you'd see anything like that in the Oval Office? It was disgusting. Truly disgusting. But you can't, like I said, Ukraine's got friends all around the world, and we're all going to step up. And we're going to step away from the United States. I'm sorry, all of my people in America. We got to keep fighting to get rid of him. Once him and his gang is gone out of the White House, then there'll be a chance for peace in your own country. I love you all. I really do. And my heart's just breaking for what's going on to you people in the United States. It really is. So remember, take care of you first so you can continue to look after others. I love you all so much. Talk later. Don't forget to subscribe.